Hello, I'm Lurvin. With me I have Sorix.
Hello.
We're going to be doing Dishonored 90%. We are doing it with a speed up component, so it's going to be a bit different than you might have seen at earlier marathons. Before we start, we have a bid war going during this for whether or not to kill or save Samuel at the end of the run. If we reach a total of $250 for that incentive, we are now about, I'm bad at math, but we're not that far away from that. If we reach that during the run, before we reach the flooded district, me and Sorix will do that as 2-player 1 keyboard and mouse as an added incentive. So get to donating and we will get right on that.
Yeah, and that should be about like 15 minutes into the run, so
yeah,
got about 15 minutes.
You have a bit of time.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess time starts in 3, 2, 1, go. Instantly have to restart.
A good start. Accidentally went on the guard's head there, so if you aggro the guards here, it actually just fails the level completely. And so that was the first glitch there. An elevator.
We can get a bit more into that a little bit later, but it allows us to climb stuff really, really quickly. So here you can see the speed up for the first time. This is the speed up component that was made by Dr. T-Chops. It allows us to speed the game up to 10 times speed during cutscenes, and it does that automatically for us. And it doesn't really work how you want it to for a marathon, because it doesn't speed up the timer here. But when you're doing runs for the leaderboard, it also speeds up the timer the same amount, meaning that all the times are still comparable to the time you would have without the speed up component. And it's really, really nice. And it just allows you to play the game a lot more instead of just watching the same cutscenes over and over when you're playing. Here we're going to do another elevator, basically, as Sorix started to mention. When you jump backwards into these corners in a specific way, you can climb them all the way to the top, some of the time. This is FPS dependent.
Yeah, this is actually just FPS issues. Actually, it might be.
Yeah. Oh, we might have a VSync on. That would be bad. Well, let's disable that and try again, because this game requires more than 120 frames per second to run at the level we want it. Oh, come on.
I think the angle was off.
Yeah, that one was my fault. I'm not going to lie. Thankfully for this section, okay, now I don't know what's going on.
We're still only getting 120, yeah.
Uh-oh.
Is it because... Is it VSync turned on the quick save?
That might actually be. If so, then I'm going to feel like a goof.
Wow.
Okay. This is fine. This is fine. It's good we got it out of the way. I quick saved after, so that shouldn't be an issue anymore.
Wait, is it actually going over 120? No, it's not.
Rivet Tuner. Is Rivet Tuner on? Yeah. Technical difficulties. We'll stay within estimate. This is fine. Manage 3D settings. And yeah, I'm happy we get this out of the way very early, at least. We'll just turn it off altogether. Okay, we should be ready now.
It shouldn't be the INI files, right?
No.
No.
It just isn't turning on.
Were we not applying it?
I might have been a real goof there. Okay, we got all the way up. It's easy. It's easy. It's easy. I swear. I've never had that on in this game ever. Not when playing casually ever. So I don't know how to fix that. I'm sorry. Well, yeah.
So elevators, yes.
Yeah, elevators are really useful when they actually work. Elevators just allow us to climb really quickly. And because of the fact that we had to reload a save there, the speed up isn't going to happen. So I can do it manually because I'm a little bit of a cheater here. This is how it would look normally, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, so elevators, you can basically climb corners really like high up that you're not supposed to. And we got like super high up there and fell down into like a fight. But it's a tutorial fight and doesn't let you die. But if you go like to 1 HP, it just completes the fight for you. Because it's like a tutorial, it doesn't want you to fail it. So we just like intentionally go to 1 HP and like get given the fight to us.
Yeah, and it's just a really nice way of ending the fight as quickly as possible. Now we're on to the like tutorial missions where we're actually getting taught stuff. So we're going to completely ignore the objective and clip through this door and then go out of bounds immediately, using the elevator glitch again, and then just run to the end of the map.
Yeah. And the roof of the prison doesn't have collision here. We have to run like on the edge here. And that's why we were just able to clip up as well.
Yeah. The walls are there. The roof is not. All throughout this, you're going to see me do these small speed ups when we're going over ledges like this one. That's called a vault and allows us to save like 0.2 seconds every single time we do one, which doesn't sound like much, but over the course of the entire run, every time you go over a ledge, that adds up a whole lot. And we're going to do an elevator here, and that one's a little bit special because it gets us stuck under a roof, and then when we uncrouch under that roof, we can go out of bounds, which allows us to skip this entire inside section. Go ahead.
Yeah, and that one's actually like patch dependent. For some reason, like it's patched on lower or on later patches. You have to down patch to do that.
And down patching allows us. That's the only glitch we need it for, and it allows us to do this, which saves about 15 seconds here right at the start, while also allowing us to go and never pick up our equipment. Which saves even more time later on because our equipment is actually slow. It saves 15 seconds from skipping the cutscene, but it also saves time because we never then bring out our sword during gameplay, which means you run slower when you have your sword out, and so you save a lot of time.
That climb Lervin just did right there is like a really weird one where you have to sort of crouch and turn your camera midway. For some reason, you just go way higher. That's sort of like the weirdest part of this route.
Yeah, and it's the only place in the game that we know that both uses that and where it works.
Yeah.
So now we're climbing back into bounds. That wall doesn't have collision at the top, so that's very useful for us. Then we gotta hit a trigger to spawn Samuel at the end here. And then that's the end of the tutorial missions. And we're gonna go and get our magical abilities. So you might be wondering why we're not speeding up like these cutscenes, like the one we're talking with Samuel here. And that's for a couple of reasons. One of them is that you have to do an input at the end, so it's kind of like during gameplay, so it doesn't really seem correct. But also, a lot of the cutscenes that aren't sped up are staying normal speed because they are reliant on the time the audio takes to play out. And when we speed up the game, the audio doesn't speed up. So you hear here that Samuel's getting cut off while he's talking by himself. He is stumbling his words all over. And that's because the audio isn't sped up. And for the ones where you... For the cutscenes that are based on that, speeding them up does nothing except for speed up the animations.
Yeah. And right now, Lervin's doing a trick called... what is this called again?
It's called the RE storage skip.
Yes, I knew that. Just wanted to see if you knew.
Yeah, we usually call it by the short name for that. We tend not to at marathons.
But yeah, basically after you skip a cutscene, if you like skip it and then re-hold the button to skip it and just keep it holding it while you're in gameplay, the next time you get into a cutscene like that, it'll just insta-skip it. You kind of like store the skip for the next one.
Yeah, it saves about a second every single time. Then here I was spamming jump right before this loading screen, which again, only place in the game where this works, but it warps us through the roof we were just under to get above it, saving like 10 seconds of movement.
For whatever reason, there's like one frame at the end of the cutscene there, where if you input a jump, you just like go super high. All
Please
right.
don't tell me this has now also reset itself. That is really fun. Let's see, mana elixir, it has, that's great. Okay, we have it now. So let's just keep going, like that didn't happen either. The settings in this game are very reliable and not really an issue, I swear. But now we have Blink, which is a magical short-range teleport, which allows us to do a lot of interesting movement. And that's really like what this game is all about, is optimizing your Blink routes and doing cool stuff with Blink.
Yeah, the first like 2 missions are like kind of interesting, but this is what you speedrun the game for, really.
Yeah. This is where it gets adrenaline fueled, and you'll see that we can do some more glitches with Blink as well, because this game is very much an Unreal Engine 3 game, much like many of the other ones of this era, where they have very interesting glitches because of the ways the games were released. So here we are now going to bring up Blink before this cutscene starts. Saves like barely any time, but it's kind of cool. So our arms are actually out here. If we had a sword, I would be stabbing myself in the face right now, I swear.
Here we're actually making use of a DLC that just gives you some like extra money and bone charms here. Bone charms is like buff that you can apply to yourself. Right.
Now it makes sense why that wasn't working.
Yeah. Some keybind issues. But yeah, we got Void Channel, which gives you like a slightly longer blink. It's like very slight, but it still helps.
But here we're going to do the first double blink of the run, and then hard fall immediately. Double blinking is really just a natural extension of the way the game works. When you use blink, if you have momentum, you keep that momentum. And so by blinking right after doing your double jump, you can keep the upwards momentum in the air, and then you will be able to do another blink before you land, allowing you to do some really optimized movement.
Yeah, and we bought 10 mana potions there as well from Piero, and that might seem a lot, but we're gonna go eat through those like really quick. So we still have to. Basically, this game now comes down to, once we have the blink as much as possible and pick up as many potions as possible on the way. So here, Lurven's just blinking through the level, getting to our target, and
yeah, he's going to be stuck behind this door right here. Doors are a bit of a suggestion here. We are able to do what's called a slip clip, where we lean through the wall and then use our blink ability to just blink through the door. The door is locked, by the way. That's why I'm not just opening it.
Yeah, so with the lean and like running into it sideways, you can just poke your camera through.
And that's what we did to go out of bounds at the end there as well. Then we're going down here and doing a unique glitch. First try. That is a very strange thing, where if you interact with Samuel right as he's putting away his cigarette, you skip 14 seconds of dialogue, and we lower our frame rate to do that because it's way easier to do a frame perfect trick at 5 FPS than at 250.
It's not as easy as Lurven makes it out to be. I don't know how Lurven is so consistent on that trick. It's actually insane. But it's a good 10-second time save of just dialogue, so. That was the first like real mission done. Now we're up into back to the hand pits. This is sort of like I think this is the longest like intermission.
Yeah.
Have to take care of some weepers here.
So we're going to immediately ignore the main objective and go and get a key by picking it up through the keyhole for the door you used to open with the key, which allows us to go in here and kill the weepers without actually ever getting the quest to kill them. Game just updates and deals with that, and we are now able to just leave again.
We also got another rune there, which meant we could get agility 2, which just makes us run faster.
More speed.
There's basically two abilities we care about. There's blink and agility. Agility makes you jump high and run fast, and blink just makes you blink further. And all the other abilities are like pretty useless to us.
Yep.
Category.
At the start here, I think we have time for a donation.
Excellent. We have $15 from Cafe Ayla with a message, Sanju, please, she's already dead. And that went to the Dynamite by Crazy Dr. Darling incentive for the control run coming up. We also have $5 from John Samuel. John Samuel here, I know your evil plan, Lurven. Don't you dare to do the thing. And that went to the kill or spare Samuel incentive. This one for the spare option. So if you want to have a say in that, make sure you get your donations in pretty quickly.
So for this section, we are in one of two RNG paths. We got what is known as bad RNG, where we have to throw that really cool grenade out of bounds really far. This allows us to kill one of our targets. We kill the other one with one of those spring razors that we bought at the start. Spring razors are basically like tripwire mines that are filled with nails, and so you can just like kill people very easily with them. And yeah, since we never picked up our sword at the start, and since we don't want a sword, since it slows us down, we kill people with every single, or most of the other tools in Corvo's arsenal. So that went relatively well. We saved Emily, and we also got rid of the targets
must have worked wonders out there.
That mission is probably like the hardest in this category.
It is a lot of things can happen because you're in a closed space. There's a lot of NPCs. There's a lot going on, and being like a second later or earlier means all the NPCs have moved a little bit, and suddenly they're blocking you, and they can randomly decide to just run in front of you, and it's a lot to deal with, but it's a lot of fun to learn. And there's also 2 paths because of the different RNG on where the targets actually are in that mission. Very fun.
You do not fail to impress.
We were also kind of on a timer because we freed Emily at the start, and she's like running down the stairs. So ideally, you want to get done with killing your targets before she gets down. And depending on the RNG, that can be either easier or harder.
Yep. So now we're doing another intermission. As you might have noticed, the mission structure is do a mission, go back to the humpits, do a mission, go back to the humpits, and so on and so forth. And for this one, there really isn't a lot to mention. There was one cool blink I did there. Other than that, it's pretty simple.
I always liked this intermission because the mana lines up like absolutely perfect.
Oh yeah.
Very satisfying.
You want to explain how mana like factors into this?
Yeah, so like on some missions, you get mana back like at the beginning. Like when you sleep, for example, you usually get mana back at the start of the next mission. So in those cases, we want to end with like no mana left, so we get the maximum recharge from that, from like the start of the next mission. Here we're kind of on a timer.
Yeah, we have to wait for that mission to pop up, or mission objective to pop up at the end of that screen. Otherwise, it will soft lock us at the end.
Yeah. Have to wait on that load a bit to get rid of some lag.
So this is the only mission in the game where we don't have a target to take out, but instead a target to save. So we're going to be saving the royal physician Anton Sokolov, and he lives all the way at the end of this bridge, so we just have to get to him, which includes a lot of fun and cool movement, like double blinking after landing on a thing you never saw. And then at the end of this, there's also a different trick that can look very similar to the trick I did at the end of the camel mission, where the thing with the cigarette, you know? But it actually works in a very different way. We lower ourselves to 5 frames per second for this one too. I'm probably not going to hit this, but I'll try. Oh, maybe I did. Oh, it's so easy.
You just never miss it, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and Samuel leaned against nothing. That's also good. So that trick, if you enter the cutscene right as you're quick saving, it skips like the first 6 seconds of dialogue in the cutscene for reasons that are unbeknown to us.
Yeah. There's a lot of those like little tricks at the end of missions.
Yeah, a lot of small things you can skip with the cutscenes here in different ways. There's a big one at the start of the game that has been now banned from any percent from actually all the categories because it is entirely random when you get it. You're allowed to do a setup that isn't random, but that setup loses 30 seconds. And so it's not really worth to do in a split where you usually can only lose about a second before you reset when you're on world record pace.
Yeah, it's one of those like insanely rare things that just happens like 1 in 1,000 resets. It's just...
Oh, I missed that? No. I was going to do that because that's like an old route that we don't really do anymore. But I wanted to do it because it's fun to do at marathons because it has a funny name. That's double ass.
Not for everybody.
Because of the RE storage skip. I'm not being crude.
This game has, didn't really mention it, but this game has some pretty cool tips in the load screen.
Oh yeah, it has some pretty good tool tips. It really teaches you a lot about the missions at times.
Yeah. Oh yeah, so this is Boyle. So there's 3 targets. We don't know which one we have. It's actually RNG which one we get. So we're hoping to get this one right here. That's just very convenient, right at the entrance. And then we're gonna read this letter out of bounds because we kill her, but we don't know. Oh, okay, we actually got good RNG. That's 1 in 3. Nice. So we read the letter out of bounds, and that tells us who the target actually is after we kill her.
And that just allows us to break the mission a little bit, but we're kind of doing the intended thing. We're just not going to the correct bedroom because the notes are supposed to teleport into bounds. It's way more complicated than we're giving it credit for, but also it just amounts to you just kill her and hope it's her, and if it's not, you kill the other 2 as well.
Yeah. Yeah, the backup is just kill all 3. Just process of elimination. You had to get the one. Kill all 3.
There we're going to immediately look away from him.
A woman and a noble woman at that.
We want to go to the left. We can look at him if we want to. It's
She
fine.
helped the Lord Regent kill the Empress.
Yeah, this one is also not sped up for the same reason.
Yeah, I can manually speed this one up. And then he's like done talking, but the voice line is still playing. And it's just,
Yeah.
it just doesn't work.
See you now.
Reminder to do the lean strat, by the way.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, when we were practicing, I told Sorix I was going to do his strat for this part. And then during that cutscene, my mind did a blank and I just completely forgot to.
Oh, you got
no.
bumped!
I got bumped by
Priest, the Lord Regent.
Cecilia. I think that's her name. I don't know.
Sure.
Pastime.
All the voice lines that are in any percent and all the characters that we actually talk to in any percent, we know very well. And all the other ones, I have no idea who is.
This is it.
Actually, like a new
Most
strat here
important thing is
that like Lurven just showed me like a couple hours ago.
next time
Yeah, we used to have like a very complicated and terrible elevator we would go for here, but instead we can just go around on the side there and do some precise movement. That's still probably faster.
That looks easy, but that blink is actually like kind of hard.
And
But-
since we got good RNG, I have all the resources I need. Shortest screen in the game coming up. 3, 2, 1, go.
Yeah, that's it.
So we went in there and got the target onto the roof, which now allows us to go all the way up here. I'm gonna quick save there because it didn't allow me to quick save. Should I still go for the quad blink here?
If you want.
Once. I'll go for once. This is a hard strat. Yeah.
Oh.
Okay. This just still allows me to then show off the grenade throw again, because I didn't really show you how far we're throwing that grenade. But this grenade right here, where we take out the Lord Regent, that might miss. We hit him from all the way over there. That's really nice.
And the reason we went in and just shot the glass was to put him in that position, because basically like if you alert them, he goes into a safe room. But we actually want it to be safe room. 'Cause we can throw that nade really.
you ready to go.
There is also another one of those frame rate, quick save, quick load to start the cutscene earlier tricks here that I could have done on Samuel, but it loses time RTA, so it's not marathon proved.
Saving you the
Big
time.
changes.
Yeah.
Maybe it's going to
Saving
be
the
others.
schedule.
Me, I think I'll just linger out.
Yeah, we already wasted enough time in the intro, so we might as well just try to speed this up. So for this entire intermission, I'm basically going to be holding my interact button to do one of those storage skips we mentioned earlier. So I do one there, and then I start another one here, and then I blink out.
And
Oh.
very conveniently, Emily opens the door for us there. Because if she didn't, it wouldn't work because we would have to interact with the door, which breaks it.
You need to be holding your interact and not interact with anything else while you're doing it. So her opening the door lines up perfectly with us blinking past her as well. And then this used to be such a terrible part of running any percent. You're getting quite far into the run. By the way, we can close that incentive now. We're getting to the flooded district.
All right. So let's close that. Do you also want to hear the outcome of the bid war?
Sure, yeah.
So let me give that a final refresh. And we have $50 for sparing Samuel and $135 for killing. So
This has always been a running theme with the saving or killing Sam. One of them is that it's more interactive and more fun to kill him. The other one is that since we spend so much time talking to Samuel in all of these cutscenes where we're on the boats, a lot of runners just have an ingrained like hatred for the man. And so by killing him, you release a little bit of tension.
Yeah. But he's nicer now. He doesn't talk as much anymore. So now this is interesting actually because all our like potions and equipment get reset.
Oh yeah.
So we're a lot tighter on mana now.
Yeah, we have to stop here, stop blinking here just because otherwise we're gonna run out before it's convenient. I'm gonna do this whole section at low health. It's probably fine. It should be fine as long as I don't mess up like over there. I have just so much mana, wow.
Oh wow, okay, you didn't even use health that, okay.
You don't need it.
Yeah.
I mean, you technically don't need it for this trick here also.
This is a funky trick. Lower the FPS to 2 in the water stream. If you have low FPS, it carries you like way faster. And if you go all the way to 1 or 2 FPS, it just like, you just like teleport way across the map. And also into the air for some reason.
Yeah, it both sends you upwards and just really, really far. And it is one of the like weirder. What am I gonna do for mana here? I guess I'll just wait. This is gonna. Now I definitely need to use the health potion. There's a guard that tends to block us over here if we're late, and I just had to wait 5 seconds. Sir. No, sir. Okay, this is not gonna be good. We're gonna lose, like, sir.
I think you still make it for the skip.
Yeah, I still get the first part of the skip. So here, Sam is riding away from us, and he breaks the cutscene because he just keeps talking, then forgets that he's talking to us, and then we blink back into it, which skips like 30 seconds of dialogue. If I was really fast and didn't get blocked by that sir over there, I would have been able to skip another 5 or 6 seconds of dialogue right at the end of this, but unfortunately, no. So we are now starting the last mission, and Sam is no longer like a critical NPC to finishing the game, and so the game doesn't care if we kill or spare him. Unfortunately, since we never picked up our gear, I don't have any equipment to kill him with, so we're just gonna have to...
As you do.
slide into him.
Can you get the hole in one?
Oh, don't do me like that.
Oh.
Like right, right before I'm. Oh.
I'm sorry.
But yeah, now
That
we're
was
doing the last elevator ride. Last section coming
really
up.
clean Kingsbury though.
Thank you. So yeah, we're now going to be running out of bounds immediately,
Yeah,
and then.
This is a super cool ending to the game.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
fine. It's really fine.
That's how it should have went.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here I'm going to clip here, and then clip through these books, and then pick up a key, and time. Thank you. Thank you. So that was Dishonored.
So
Yeah, we did still stay within an estimate. I knew it. Yeah. So yeah, usually when we would submit this without the speed up component, it would take like maybe 35 minutes. The world record now takes 22 minutes instead of 35. So it's a really nice way to play the game. It just means you have so much more gameplay when you're actually doing runs, and it feels more like practice, and you can actually have a lot of fast-paced fun.
Yeah, it's like 12 minutes of autoscrollers just gone. It's just way more fun to play the game.
Yep. So we're going to end this here before it plays some copyrighted music. And that's the end of it. Thanks for having us.
Thank you so much, Lervin and Zorik, for a fantastic run. Don't go anywhere. We will be back shortly with another run.